A few weeks ago, I was talking to my niece. She's a doctor in accident and emergency in a major hospital. But I wanted to talk to her about my blood pressure. Now, like most people who I want to talk to about my blood pressure, she wasn't all that interested, it has to be said. And she said to me, look, if it's not going to kill you in the next 4 hours, I really don't want to know. I'm not that bothered. But undeterred, I pursued my inquiry and I said to her, look, could the fact that I have a stressful job have anything to do with this hypertension? And she said, well, maybe, but who wants a boring job? Now, participating in this fantastic event today, nobody could think that any of you has a boring job. As leaders in the field of education, you have, in my view, one of the most important roles in society. You are dealers in futures, and I would ask you, can there be any more important role than that? The opportunity to work with children and young people, their families and communities, to take them from wherever they start to places that maybe they can only dream of, is surely the greatest joy of teaching. And I think that's what makes teaching at its best, the noblest of all our professions. In the past few years, we've sought to really capitalize on this energy in the profession. We've tried rightly to put those of you that do the work, as Len was saying this morning, day in, day out, not just at the heart of autonomous schools and academies, but also at the heart of a school-led system. We've tried to see what's before us, the opportunities and the challenges, with new eyes, to think afresh about what we need to do and to have the freedoms to act, to do something, not just in single schools, but across multi-academy trusts or alliances or collaboratives of whatever kind. Now, if I'm absolutely honest, at the start of all this, I did wonder what the appetite for a school-led system would be, and I questioned, would we have enough system leaders around who would be prepared to step up, as so many of you have, and lead beyond their school? And even where there was a will, or as Dave said, a moral purpose to do this, did people have the capacity and the support of their governing bodies to be able to do this? Would the barriers be simply too much? And would we in fact stretch even our best people to fail? Would this work maybe just become the exclusive preserve of the largest secondary schools and multi-academy trusts, possibly leaving smaller schools behind? Well, I should have known better. What we've seen in this conference today, and what we see, what I get to see, the privilege of what I see, the length and breadth of this country, are groups of schools, teaching schools alliance, teach school alliances, national and local leaders and their schools, multi-academy trusts, and others. Others who don't describe themselves by any of those labels or designations. We see them all working together in the interests of children and young people within and beyond their schools. And there's a growing body of evidence that demonstrates the added value that such collaboration is bringing. It demonstrates also its reciprocity. And it also gives us the caveat that this kind of work takes a lot of effort to develop, to maintain, and to sustain. But the benefits for all concerned are worth the investment of time and energy. But in case you were wondering, we're certainly not there yet. The Northwest is a great example, as Dave was saying to us earlier, of well-established school partnerships seizing the opportunities that new policy directions offer. You have grasped the opportunities presented by school-led initial teacher training. We've got an amazing concentration here of high-performing teaching school alliances and of local and national leaders. We've got great school and university partnerships engaging in research, And we're seeing more and more leadership and professional development happening in systematic ways within and across schools. But not everywhere in the country enjoys this. And we've got more to do, not least in some of the regions that need it most. Now, the National College for Teaching and Leadership always tries to stay close to what's going on the ground. And that's because we understand that that's where real change happens. And it's for this reason that I'm delighted today to introduce to you our newly appointed chair of NCTL, Roger Pope, who's going to speak to you shortly. Roger is a highly respected national leader of education and a teaching school principal who leads a multi-academy trust in the Northwest. And in his new role, he will keep us close to the reality of day-to-day school life in all our decision-making and all our policy work. We are privileged indeed to have him. Now, I want to conclude what I'm saying, as I always do. Anyone who's heard me speak before know I always finish in this way, and it's with the words of one of my heroes, Desmond Tutu, reminding us that all the structures, all the governance, all the organisation around system leadership work, well, they're all necessary, but they're insufficient. If we're to capitalise on these opportunities, we also need a great spirit of cooperation, of Ubuntu, as Desmond Tutu puts it. That spirit that recognises and rejoices in strength, whilst all keeping us all together in a unity of purpose. Please take back to everyone in your school my personal thanks on behalf of NCTL for all that you're doing for the children, families and communities that we are all called to serve. Because, as Lem said this morning, it's in those day-to-day efforts that you continue to make the difference. You continue to create exciting and innovative possibilities. And it's you that will make educational excellence everywhere. Thank you very much.